All right, let's do a quick review of where we left off last time. Last time we were looking at these rough floor plan sketches, and we had option one, where the second floor was stacked on top of the ground floor. I think that was met with a little less than enthusiasm due to the restricted height of the ground floor, which is led more by the need for long stairs, more so than the height limits, as I'll be able to show you in the 3D model. We then had option two, where the second floor was slid as far over to the left as we could to create some really cool visual interest, a really nice floor plan, really open up the heights down here, and get this second floor out of the shadow of the existing two-story home. And then we had option three, where we took that second floor, but trying to preserve some views of the open sky, we rotated the second floor 90 degrees clockwise, no, counterclockwise. And I prefaced in our meeting that I was really concerned about fire separation distances. I've been communicating with the San Jose Fire Department, trying to get clarification on some of the ambiguous or vague wording in the code. And what I've discovered is that this structure needs to be very far back from the main house overhang or fireplace if it's to remain. And that's going to mean that this gets so squished in the top down direction that it winds up growing further out this way, so much so that it almost resembles option two here. But let's take a look at that in 3D. So what I'm going to show you in 3D is very much just a very rough massing model. I postponed actually finishing off this neighbor to the left, their house. Very odd structure. But it really doesn't impact, I think, the main point of concern, which was what's it going to look like standing in your living room or standing at this back corner. How much are these different options going to obscure your view of open sky? So let's take a look. So I've got these. Yeah, this is the view of the backyard. And again, I've got options one, two, and three in here. And again, just with that option three, it's just so close. I don't actually think what I'm showing here is quite in compliance yet. I think I have to do some more squeezing, but let's get to that rear yard view. So I've imported a photo from your backyard and tried to match this perspective as best I could. From what I recall, I was standing right here at this corner when I took this shot, and it matches up pretty well. You can see this existing house here that I've mocked up from the site plan or the aerial view matches up pretty well there, as does the roof overhang here. So this feels like a very realistic view to me, except that this house is obscured by all that wonderful foliage. So let's take a look at the most impactful to the sky view, which is option two. This is definitely a big object in your rear yard, but you know it blocks off some views of these nice trees back here. But otherwise, I think there's so much compelling awesomeness going on with this design, such as being able to get a lot of clear sunlight coming into the second floor, not being blocked in the afternoon by the large structure here. And I think this is just a really nice backdrop to have. If the structure is well designed and well crafted, as I hope it will be, it could serve as a very handsome backdrop for your large open landscape area. But let's take a look at the other options. So option three doesn't yet come out as far over as option two was. But the big problem I have with this option is just this alleyway we're creating here and how much lack of natural sky or lack of sun that this structure gets throughout the day due to the proximity to this large second story structure here, two-story structure. And again, this is probably going to have to grow out further towards the camera, further towards us, or towards the left property line, just to meet that 1,000 square foot goal. But let's go back here and then take a look also at option one, which was the two-story stacked option. In my opinion, this doesn't really work, I think, due to your stated desire for very tall ground floor heights here. What I'm showing here takes this structure all the way up to 24 feet, and that winds up getting you an 11-foot ground floor space, which I think would work for you. But the problem again is that as the second floor stacks on top of the ground floor, our stairs have to get a lot longer the higher the ceiling is, and it starts becoming a real design challenge. Now, there are ways around that, but it's not something that I would necessarily encourage you to do. But I think option 1 is probably more viable than option 3. But I do, for what it's worth, like the look of option 2 just a bit more. So comparing the concerns of that alley being created between either option 3 or option 2, I love how far pulled back this is from the main house. I also love that being up in this space on the ground floor, you're looking out onto your newly designed rear yard. And I gotta tell you, that is probably the most compelling reason to do this, is this space gets a view. This will be hopefully a nicely screened bamboo wall. Hopefully we'll have some new stucco texture on here for you, maybe some sort of shade structure on here, but big field of grass. I would really like to do something more like this. But let's also take a look standing inside of the living room. So up at this higher elevation, standing at the living room view, you can get a sense for your open sky views now. And if we show that impactful option 2, it's cutting off the sky. There's no doubt about it. But this is why, again, I think should we go this route, we really want to make sure that this is well proportioned, well designed. As of course, I'm up to that challenge. If you guys like this concept, option 3, not really as impactful, but almost feels like it's. I don't know. I'm just not very enthusiastic about this design. It just looks like it's barely peeking out. It just doesn't really have a presence, and it just sort of, it still feels like it's jutting into the sky to me. And then option 1 is almost completely concealed. You know, other than maybe wanting a patio space out there, that could be compelling if we can make the stairs work, and if we're okay with the second story not really having a view of this yard space, and really just having limited access to light due to the proximity of the second story structure here, the 2-story structure. So let's schedule a time where we can review this live together, but I figured this video would be something good to have to refer back to. Thank you guys.